And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks for spending time with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team. Aaron Williamson joining us back in studio here. We're going to talk technology today. He's your local expert contributor for all things related to technology, helping you win running your businesses. Aaron, give us a little teaser of what we're going to talk about today, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Tech, there's a lot going on, but SpaceX, big one. They're going to go public. They're filing the IPO. And we've talked about how many satellites Elon's putting in space, but let's talk about what kind of the impact of that's going to be.
Yeah, it'll be great to see. And we've got I just installed at my home the Starlink system. So
yeah,
it'll be kind of a little bit off grid somewhat, but hey, it's great technology. We'll see. I don't know. He's got some lofty goals too, tying to his pay package. A lot of people want to know about his pay package, right? So SpaceX got the IPO and the pay package. It's actually tied to getting people on Mars. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. So his pay package he retains 85% of the voting power for the life of SpaceX, which some people think is the only way we're going to get to Mars. But if he gets a $7.5 trillion valuation on SpaceX and he puts a 1 million person city on Mars, the richest, well, even more than the richest.
He's
already the richest on Earth, right? Or he's going to be close. And then he's also got another tranche that pays out if he puts 100 terawatts of orbital compute power. Basically, they're using the satellites as the data centers, which we had talked about before. And but right now, the entire planet has about 67 gigawatts.
Yeah.
And that goal is 1,500 times more than we currently can even compute on Earth.
Big thinking.
And he's got to put it in space. But he'll, that's what his whole plan all along. People have been.
We'll see where that goes. I mean, I think it's a little bit lofty goal, but hey, that's what goals are. You got to reach them. You got to set the goals to reach them. By the way, Florida Realtor of the Year, New York City Mayor Mondani fires back at Bezos over Queen's teacher tax remark. So dive into that. Some of the tax policies driving people. That's why South Florida has over 50 billionaires now. On the East Coast there, 50, not 15, wow. 50 billionaires down there. So we'll talk about that story as well. And we're still pushing to save, pass the SAVE Act here. Anna Paulina Luna put up a post recently as well about, the Senate just needs to get that voter ID to the finish line. It's that simple. That's how Florida's proved that it can be done. So now we got to get it on the rolls. So data centers and more coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. A couple of hot listings. We'll jump right back into it here. We've got a new listing at 6085 Bahia Del Mar. Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. This is unit number 106. This is a ground level corner unit. And check out the beautiful photography there. You've got the beautiful backdrop there of the Gulf. You've got the clubhouse, the beautiful centrally located pool, and these beautiful condos. Bahia Del Mar Boulevard South. It's 106 is the unit number. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1145 square feet, quarter-acre lot. Turnkey, fully furnished. Great opportunity to own a beautiful condo in St. Petersburg, Florida. Beautiful property right here in Tampa Bay. We've also got another listing here at 1130 Sweeney Drive, Ruskin, Florida, Hillsborough County. We've got a waterfront, another property on the waterfront, access to the Little Manatee River, Tampa River. Square feet, 1130 Sweeney Drive, Ruskin, Florida, residential property for sale. We've got about 50 current listings and a great team, about a dozen people on our team. We can help you buying, selling, investing, refinancing. Check us out at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Check us out at consumerqb.com for links to all of our radio and TV show experts, consumerqb.com.
Yeah, I'm raising my glass to those saving our ass over.
That's right. Shout out to our veterans, our troops out there. And we've got Ray Martin coming up on the second half of the show as well. You don't want to miss this. This is a really popping story right now. Brothers to Rescue, the way I understand it, he was one of the pilots. There were 3 planes. He was in the plane that did not get shot down by Cuba back in 1996. So we're going to break that down with him and talk about Cuba, the whole deal, coming up with Ray Martin. He's actually flying now currently for Will Smith Aviation, friend of the program, one of my good buddies, Captain Will Smith, teed me up yesterday, said, hey, you got to get Ray on. This is a really developing story, a really big developing story, of course, now that the U.S. grand jury indicted Raul Castro. So we'll see where that all plays out. Interesting stuff happening, man. Quick shout out to Heights Soft Wash, by the way. If you're looking to pressure wash, get some stuff cleaned around your home, do some spree cleaning, Heights Soft Wash. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties, taking clean to new heights. HeightsSoftwash.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives. All right, I want to start with something just really basic before we jump into the technology side, because we all love our freedoms. We love to have all the positive things that we have here in America, and we wouldn't have any of it if we didn't know who was voting and who is at the polling stations. So here's just a quick clip from one of my favorites out of Texas. This gentleman. Wesley Hunt, Representative Wesley Hunt.
If the United States is a country worth preserving, then I think we must protect the integrity of our elections and do everything in our power to do just that. I am shocked that the SAVE Act, which has already passed the House, is even controversial. And safeguarding our elections is the bedrock of our democracy. It's something that both sides should easily support. They say that non-citizens voting in an election is not a real issue.
Pass the SAVE Act. Our local rep, Anna Paulina Luna, talks about it. Passing the SAVE Act. It's like one of the most common sense things. It's polling at like 90%. Kind of fired at him last week. We got to pass the SAVE Act, man. So much sense.
No, it's insulting to not have it as a citizen.
It really
right?
is.
I mean, how hard is it to get an ID?
That's right.
They're just putting a false narrative out there about how people can't do that.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what the left does. All right, so let's dive into data centers and this, this whole thing around technology. You got the gubernatorial race coming up. I think Byron has taken some money from some of the big data guys, the tech companies from California. I like Jay Collins. We like Jay Collins around here. I know Paul Renner's a big front runner too. What do you see happening there? And what's the conversation? What should it be around the data centers?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's arguing that we don't need data centers. AI, the boom, is causing a big demand for compute power, but compute power requires electricity.
Yeah. And
right now, terrestrial data centers they're bad for the environment, and they're bad for the rate-paying electric customer. They tend to incentivize these companies come in and build these data centers, but our grids can't support it. And then when they need to fund the expansions of these data centers, they jack up the electric rates on the consumers. Unfortunately, Byron Donalds has received $5 million from OpenAI co-founder Greg Brockman, which leads me to believe he will be soft on data centers. Mm-hmm. He's received another $2 million from various Silicon Valley firms as well. Paul Renner, on the other hand, has said if he is elected, he'll put an immediate statewide moratorium on the costs, on electric costs being raised by these companies.
Yeah.
And be pro-preservation of Florida land. How do you cool these data centers? They require a lot of water permits.
Yep.
And what happens when we take water out of Florida ground?
Sinkholes.
Right. And so there's some concerns. I'm not saying that the answer is to not have data centers. Space. Yeah. Every satellite is a data center, or can be a compute power.
Yep.
And maybe that's the answer. Maybe it's Mars. Maybe it's the moon. We're looking at
maybe it's the Yukon, Alaska, or something up there, right?
Right. Yeah. Does it matter where the compute power is? A little, but I think it's a bigger issue than most people are making of it for this upcoming November election.
Yeah. Exactly. And also DeSantis also signed SB 484, right? Can you tell us what's in that?
Yeah, SB 484 was big. So he's basically saying you can't pass on the costs of data centers to the ratepayer, so behind the meter.
Yeah.
And it also you can put tariffs in place like water permits being denied or charging for certain things in order to fund these data centers. So it doesn't say you can't build data centers. It just makes sure that the citizen, the Florida citizen, does not pay for it.
Right. Yeah, and there's a lot more there too. It's the electrical, the water, the sound. These things are hugely, air population in terms of the sound. They're just, I don't want them. We don't want them in Florida, at least, the people I talk to. We also have this free speech debate going on right now. You've got countries with the most arrests for online comments. We've got the chart. The United Kingdom, 12,000 plus. You've got Belarus at 6,200, Germany 3,500. Countries with the most arrests for online comments. So simply posting online. The chart looks something like this here. So you have And then at the very bottom is the great old United States, right? So there's 50 in the United States. I'd like to know what those 50 were. And by the way, there was one kid that got arrested for posting a silly meme about vote for Clinton from home or something. Remember that a while back? But anyways, what's going on over in the UK, man? It's crazy. You getting arrested for posting something online?
Yeah, in 2023, they passed the Communications Act, the Malicious Communications Act, as they call it. And they're using it. These 12,000 arrests are basically for hurting feelings.
Yeah.
You use hurty words online, you get arrested. I imagine the U.S., and you're right, I don't know what the 50 were, but they've got to be death threats mostly, I would assume.
Yeah, something.
Which is a credible, thing.
Exactly.
Might as well just announce they're a communist country.
Speaking of that, here's the latest comments from AOC. Did you hear these over the weekend?
Time for the North to pull up to the South.
What does that mean?
Let's go.
Speaking of death threats, what does that mean?
It is time for New York to pull up to Alabama.
Okay.
It is time for all of us to come to
This is a
Georgia,
disturbing
to Louisiana,
message.
to Tennessee, to Mississippi, and
What is
let
she
them
really
know
trying
Hey, we got a lot of rednecks down here. I don't know if you want to pull up. Good luck pulling up down here, son. I'll tell you what, man.
Good old boy
Pull up.
bus. Hey, making it home.
Hey, here's
from New York.
that one comedian. You know that one comedian, the guy, the black guy. He says, he goes, man, we got something these other countries don't have. We got rednecks. Remember that?
Well, where do you think most of the guns in this country are?
What's she talking about? And by the way, the military, it's like overwhelming majority from the South. 68% of the people, or some number like that. These are people that love their country. Their forefather, their grandparents fought in the Civil War. They fought in the Revolutionary War. So to talk about that, and what they're actually arguing about, again, is the lies of the left, right? What they're arguing is that, they're redrawing these districts. You mean like California has a 10-to-1 map, like the one that just got smacked down by the Virginia Supreme Court just got smacked down. They tried to take a map that was somewhat fair and at least had some red representation.
Have you seen the way they're drawing these districts?
Yeah, it looks like spider webs or spider legs going out.
Snakes.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. So let's go back to technology, by the way. We're talking with Aaron Williamson for all your technology, small business owners, medium-sized businesses, of course, and up. And even, you'll help people out personally, too, on their personal computer. A lot of misinformation out there, a lot of scams, people clicking on links they shouldn't be clicking on, text messages. And they're pretty smart the way they perpetrate some of these scams.
Right, because instead of somebody using a phone or a computer and email, it can be automated now, and you don't even know if it's a real person,
right?
That's trying to scam you, and it all ties back to. And Mark Cuban said this the other day, who I tend to disagree with a lot, but recently he seems to be taking the Fetterman approach.
Yep.
And he said he believes that the rise in AI, and especially video processing capabilities, and not being able to determine what's real and not, is going to drive the need for face-to-face interactions to people. And I hope that's true.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I would be great, especially for business. I have worked, and sometimes to both people's profit, without ever meeting somebody, but that's not my preferred way.
Yeah.
I would rather be shaking hands.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Did you see, we also did a story last week about, the rise in analog phones, just the old dumb phone, right? People just want to open up the phone, hit the number, and make the call.
Yeah, I'm like that, right? I'd love to, I say that, I have a smartphone right here, but there is something nostalgic and charming about just having a flip phone that does nothing but make calls.
That's right. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's true. All right, here's another lead story as well. Mondani fires back at Bezos over Queen's teacher remark. So it was interesting, he had to sit down with Andrew Sorkin from CNBC, who they do a pretty good job with their financial reporting. I actually enjoy watching from time to time. But, basically he's talking about, the tax rates and who's paying the most and that whole tax the rich mantra from the left. But did you know that 1% of taxpayers pay about 40% of all tax revenue? That had came out, and then Bezos was saying that while the bottom half pay only 3%. So he was actually saying, hey, that teacher in New York that's making $72,000 a year, paying $12,000 in tax, that's $1,000 a month. He says, hey, let them pay nothing. He said those people in that tax bracket, he says, I vote for a zero tax there. Let's let them pay nothing, and have them spend that money on rent or gas or childcare, whatever they want to do. But I think I don't know if I go all the way to nothing, but let's have a little bit of accountability. Maybe they pay $300, $500, something. Just that way they're contributing, to the services somewhat. And of course, nothing, but or anything. But your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the idea that it should be zero is good, but again, if we don't believe in entitlements, then it can't be zero, right? So you're not entitled. So maybe it should be something. I think with especially again, we're going to tie it back to AI and accounting principles, because it's become easier to track usage. Why aren't we paying tax based on usage?
Good
We
point.
weren't able to. How much do you use the roads? How much do you use the educational system? How much do you use the police force? I'm
Yeah.
not saying that it should be necessarily tied directly to it.
Yeah.
But again, if you don't use certain services, are we going to decrease it because of that? That would be a way to decrease them,
Yeah.
at least. But yeah, no, I mean, if half the taxpayers pay 3% of the tax, what impact to the IRS is that going to make? Practically none.
Yeah, and especially if we cut out a lot of this waste, fraud, and abuse, just like we've seen with USAID and all that money. A lot of that just funnels back through D.C., to the lobbyists, to the politicians, to the nonprofit organizations, the NGOs. So I think as taxpayers, we've seen that we kind of peeled back the curtain. We found out the wizard was like this 3-foot midget. He's not this, So anyways, quick break, right back. We got Aaron Williamson in studio with us. Cornerstone Project Management, CornerstonePMP.com, ConsumerQB.com. Quick break, right back.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my...
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
I want to tell you about our employee benefits program. This is a really cool package that we offer for employers out there. Education, guidance, incentives. So a real estate benefit that you can add for no cost. Partner with companies of all sizes to provide valuable real estate education, exclusive employee incentives, and trusted guidance through every step of the buying, selling, or investing process. At no cost, we're going to empower your employees, strengthen your company, and build brighter futures for them. Educational seminars, first-time buyer support, employee incentives, luxury, upsize expertise, new construction, building, as well as investment opportunities. Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. You can reach us at 813-917-1894. Check us out online at ConsumerQB.com. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We can close quickly for a all-cash offer on your real estate properties, residential, commercial, even vacant land. We'll buy your property cash. No cleaning, no showings, and no hassles. You can even possibly stay in your home post-closing. Call Brandon at 813-917-1894. Submit the email at consumerqb.com or call 813-917-1894. consumerqb.com. We buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. All right, let me tell you about my friends at Bayview Paints Plus, top-tier window, solar panel, and gutter cleaning, Christian company with godly morals. Find them on Yelp, Facebook, and Instagram at Bayview Paints Plus, or call 813-917-1894. Window cleaning, solar panels, gutter cleaning at Bayview Paints Plus, 813-917-1894.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rimes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back, Consumer Quarterback Show. Appreciate the uptick in calls lately as well. People calling in, wanting to buy, sell, invest, refinance. Reach out to Aaron Williamson with his company, all of our local business owners, white-collar, blue-collar companies helping you win in any marketplace. We've done the vetting for you, so all you got to do is call us up, and we'll put you in contact with the best here in beautiful Tampa Bay. We got a listing at 10001 Waterworks Lane, Riverview. This is a commercial property, waterfront, 2 acres on a lakefront. You also have a detached 2-car garage, 1765 square feet. Beautiful real estate listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, investing, refinancing. We would love to talk to you. We're selling it, by the way, at a 98% list price to sell price ratio. The average MLS realtor in Tampa Bay is at 92%. So there's your 6 points right there that we help you win. Check us out online, consumerqb.com. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All of our radio experts at consumerqb.com. All right, another big economic news here. Besant sees substantial disinflation ahead as Warsh takes over the Fed. So when you think about, where the economy's at, where's real estate going, where's the mortgage rates, even, this affects even your auto loans, your short-term business loans, that overnight lending rate that the Fed controls with this recent inflation. A lot of times you look at jobs, you look at GDP, you look at all those different numbers. But I think we're going to be wrapping up the war overseas. We're going to be taking control of our hemisphere. We're going to be in that golden age very quickly here, very soon. Aaron Williamson, Cornerstone Project Management. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Doge was all about waste, fraud, and abuse. And I think if you want to control inflation, that's right. We started in the right spot.
There you go.
I mean, you eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, and you get rid of at least half the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And there's so much of it. Actually, Dave sent this to me. This is an interesting story. It's from Doge headquarters. 73 days before Trump took office, $93 billion. How many zeros is that? 93, then you got 9 zeros behind it. Dollars in loans were given out with no records. This is so much as twice as much as given out in 15 years. Senator Kennedy wonders how this is even possible. Absolutely mind-blowing. So Young Americans actually posted this, one of the most insane things you'll ever hear. So basically what they're doing, just like they did their last-minute pardons, they just threw out all this money to all their friends, all their kickbacks, all their lobbyists. That's how communism works, guys.
That's it. I mean, you just pay your friends.
Pay your friends.
That's it, pay for votes.
Hey, it's time for the next election.
Yeah, we need your support. Get some money.
Yeah, there you go. And Nick Shirley, what a great job he's done. Did you see the video in Cuba?
Yeah, I saw he went over there. He went over to London as well.
Yeah,
and supported Tommy Robinson.
Yes.
But Nick Shirley's been great. Journalism was broken.
Right.
And X is fixing it.
Yeah, and shout out to Project Veritas as well, James O'Keefe.
Oh, love him.
I mean, he's done a lot of undercover exposés. You got to think about the independents, like even Daily Wire and Charlie Kirk, of course, and his team.
Thank God for our First Amendment.
Yeah, that's right. And the Second Amendment's right there to protect that First Amendment, is what we say. How can people connect with you, Aaron? How can you help them? Final thoughts.
Yeah, sure. Cornerstone PMP. That's PMP, Project Management Professional. CornerstonePMP.com. We're a local Tampa-based IT company, and so we do AI, we do business analytics. We can help your business maximize its revenue and maximize efficiency.
Yeah, I love it. Should maybe have you into our real estate office one day. Give a little talk to the team. All right, check them out online, cornerstonepmp.com, and you can see all of our experts as well at consumerqb.com. Coming up next, we got Ray Martin from Will Smith Aviation. He's part of the organization Brothers to the Rescue. He was a founding member, and we're going to talk about the U.S. grand jury indicting Raul Castro. We'll be back.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rimes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, we got a special guest in studio, Ray Martin. We're going to talk with him. He's a founding member of Brothers to the Rescue relating to the recent U.S. grand jury indictment of Raul Castro and others. There was a handful of others indicted in this as well. Give us a little teaser, Ray, of what we're going to talk about and some of the high points.
Well, we're going to talk about a lot that this should have been coming a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was unfair the way they did it. Obviously, they were waiting to make sure everything was the right information, and I agree with that, but it shouldn't have taken 30 years.
Right.
But Raul Castro was the one that gave the order.
Yeah.
And we have proof of that now, and hopefully we get it forward.
Yeah.
So he should have been put in jail a long time ago.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And it's not only for my friends that got shot down, but my parents. I'm what you call a Cuban Georgia redneck.
Yep.
So I came here. My dad worked for an American firm in Cuba, and they, brought him over here, and we went straight to Atlanta to work. So. Yeah. It was nice, the way, but my dad gave up a lot of stuff, not only my parents, but I'm sure a lot of the Cubans that are here now, their parents gave up a lot to come over here.
Right, oh yeah.
So, and another thing too is those people that were shot down, 3 of them were American citizens.
Yeah.
One of them served in Vietnam. Armando served in Vietnam. Okay.
Yep.
So, come on. We're going to let people just run over us?
Clinton didn't have the, the cojones, as they say.
Yep.
Obama didn't do it. Biden, of course, wouldn't do it because they're on the side of those people. They're on the side of that
Correct.
Type of mindset, the communism, the socialism. So we'll dive into that. We got to pitch a couple of listings, and we'll also tease. We're going to get to also Governor DeSantis supporting law enforcement and delivering results here. Some recent new stats coming out there, as well as school safety coming up here on the program. A couple of hot listings, and we'll jump right back into it. As you know, we always feature our real estate properties live on air. It's part of our strategy that helps our sellers sell faster for more money with less headaches. 13451 Hampton Park Court. This one's in Fort Myers, Florida, Southwest Florida, close to the beaches, close to a lot of great golfing there as well. You've got a 322, 1883 square feet, quarter-acre lot. You're on a lake. You've got a water fountain there, water feature that is on the lake. You got your beautiful split floor plan here, tile flooring, lighter color kitchen cabinetry, stainless steel appliances, and you're in Gateway there. You got a clubhouse, fitness center, resort-style pool, gorgeous property. Southwest Florida, stunning Gulf beaches just around the corner. Great shopping at the Gulf Coast Town Center and Bell Tower Shops. 13451 Hampton Park Court, Fort Myers, Florida. 9901 Bay Drive, Gibsonton. One of my favorite listings. Waterfront property, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,500 square feet, just under quarter-acre lot. You've got your own private boat dock there, covered boat dock. Beautiful back lanai there, sitting area in the back. Beautiful property directly on the Alafaya River. You've got 135 feet of river frontage, extra space, extra vaulted ceilings as well, natural lighting coming in. 9901 Bay Drive, Gibsonton, Florida. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com, and you can see all of our radio and TV show expert contributors and subscribe on our channels at ConsumerQB.com. All right, we got special guests in studio with us. Ray Martin, friend of Captain Will Smith. Actually, you're a pilot with Will Smith Aviation.
I'm a charter sales, but yeah,
charter sales. Oh, okay,
I'm a pilot also. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you got the background there,
yep.
and when you look at, first of all, a lot of people say move from Cuba. You're escaping communism, right?
Always,
at that point,
always. I left Cuba when I was 8 years old with my parents.
Yeah.
Never been back. I've been to Guantanamo base for 2 weeks.
Yep.
But other than that, that's about it. Never want to go back until it gets free.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So, there's a lot of stuff people don't realize. Us as Americans don't see it.
Right.
Because when they're taken over there, they're taken to the best place, the best hotels. Everything is there. As our family there's nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Garbage is thrown all over the place. People get sick from it. There's no water. There's no electricity. Most recently, that's been the issue. Okay. But that showed something on story like one of Castro's grandson living in this high place with all this new stuff.
Sure.
Beer sitting in the cooler and stuff like that. And all the background is dark.
Yeah.
Because the city is completely dark.
Yeah. Only the power, only the people in power do well. It's
Yeah.
all about the power grab, and it's all about, telling lies until you get in power. And that's what, socialism, makes promises of prosperity, but it only delivers poverty.
Yep. First of all, when it started, because I was fortunate enough to be married, my wife that passed away, she was a granddaughter of Juan Horta, which is Castro's secretary at the time he took over Cuba. Okay. But when Castro took over Cuba, there was nothing talk about communism because he was here in Tampa at that time too, trying to get funds for the funding. When he went to Cuba, he started changing his ways of the way he wanted to do it. When Juan Horta found out about it, he didn't want be part of it, and Castro wanted to kill him.
Wow.
So he went into the Peruvian embassy, and he had to stay in 6 years in the Peruvian embassy until the United States got him and brought him here to the United States.
Wow.
And he told him everything that Castro was planning to do.
Wow.
But that time, still nothing was done.
Yeah. So, so they issued these indictments. You also have Lorenzo Alberto Perez, Emilio Jose Blanco, Jose Fidel Barzaga, like a list of names here.
A list of names.
So you've got you got some other people that were indicted in that. And do you think that Castro is going to give himself up? Do you think we're going to have to go back in there and do another Maduro?
Hopefully he'll give himself up. If he doesn't, we got Trump now.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll go in there and get him.
Yeah.
We can't compare to Venezuela because this is two different setup, the way it's going. But if it doesn't, I'm telling you, somebody might even eliminate him within the country.
Yeah.
It'd be an easy way to get out, and that's it. And those other people that are indicted below, I know one of them is the pilot that shot down our airplanes, and he's in Jacksonville. How he got to Jacksonville, I have no clue.
Wow.
Okay, but he is physically in Jacksonville. So if he's already, there was a warrant out for him, he should be arrested and brought in right now as we speak.
Yeah. Now, you were over at the International Plaza where the airport there, where Captain Will Smith, you have Will Smith Aviation over there. And yesterday, it was a big day. You had CNN interviewing you for a long time, an extended period of time. So tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, it was about an 8-hour the interviews and filming. And it's going to be a special. Apparently, part of it was aired out immediately as the indictment was going on. They were posting me on CNN. But they're going to do a special segment for about 2 hours because of all the flights that I've done. I myself was chased by a Cuban Mega one time in '94.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we had other issues. But Roque, one of the Cuban spies, Cuba put 2 spies with us, Roque and Rene. He flew with me a lot of times, and I didn't know he was a spy.
Wow.
Until finally he went back to Cuba and became a spy.
Oh, wow.
And it was everybody knew that he was a spy.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you get into that world of, the espionage that goes on back and forth. It's
all lies, all lies.
Yeah, yeah, it's
and
nuts.
that's what communism does.
Yeah, tell us about it. What's when you looked at earlier in the interview, you said that the Maduro situation in Venezuela was a little bit different from Cuba. How so?
Okay, Maduro's situation was more of an economic type of thing, drugs and stuff like that. Cuba, the problem with Cuba with communism is the way they want to control. Yeah. Nobody in Cuba is allowed to own a gun, not even a knife. If you walk out with a knife in your hand in the street, you get questioned. You get put in jail sometimes. Okay, you can't speak what you really want to say. Everybody's afraid. They control the TV. They control the airways.
Yeah.
I myself, I'm the nephew of a famous Cuban movie star, Rogelio Lain. Okay, I love my I left when I was 8. That was the last time I saw him. And he was famous in all the movie stars. I made an arrangement. He was filming in Venezuela, and I made an arrangement to fly. I was flying already to Venezuela. When the government found out that I was flying to meet my uncle in Venezuela, they didn't let him do the movie there. They changed it to a different location.
Wow.
Just because they didn't want me to do anything. And I'm still wanted in Cuba because Cuba says we were terrorists, and we're not. All we do, we're humanitarians. I'm not a politician.
Yeah, you were the brothers to the rescue. You were basically scanning the seas to make sure to give the Coast Guard.
We work with the U.S. Coast Guard.
Yep.
Okay, especially a Centenac out of Clearwater. Yep. Very proud of those guys. They did an awesome job every time. But we were the eyes in the sky.
Yeah.
We found them. U.S. Coast Guard brought them into the United States, or later on brought into Guantanamo. But we saved lives. We made out of 5 that left Cuba every time, 1 survived. The other 4 were lost at sea.
Wow. Yeah. Just you run into the.
So you got to have, excuse my language, you got to have balls to go out at sea. I mean, I've been fishing all my life. In a little raft, you used to see some of these rafts.
Yeah.
Okay, to hit the open waters.
Yeah.
Cross. It's you got to have it. That's it. And they did it. And I'm talking about not just guys, men. I'm talking about families.
Yeah.
I have pictures that we at one time I got chased by a Cuban MiG. Afterwards, I was lucky that 2 F-18s came over and helped me out when the MiG gave me the hard time. Those proud words that I ever heard is Seagull Romeo, we got your 6. That made I get goosebumps.
So let me set the scene here. So you're flying a civilian aircraft, and you had a Cuban MiG come after you and engage you, or you could tell that he was behind you.
He kept coming around, and then he finally came and got next to me, brought down everything that he could to slow down, gave me the wings, follow him into Cuba. I gave him the old bird. Believe me, it's on film. I gave him the old bird and just back. But by the time I went that way, and he went the other way, because 2 F-18s came. They were scrambled out, and they said, Seagull Romeo, we got your 6.
Wow.
So
as Americans.
That to me, it's American fighters, and that made me proud. That was, that was well done.
That's cool. I love that. What a cool story. You don't hear that every day, do
you?
Nope. That's an interesting story. So there's been a lot of talk about the 51st state, Canada, Greenland, all these different places. Would Cuba make a good 51st state?
I would think so. They will make an awesome state for us. I mean, we're only 90 miles away.
Yeah.
So it's in the country itself. It's great. He's destroyed most of it because he took out all the palm trees and he sold everything else out. So it's an empty barrier at some of the places.
But would they lean right, or would they still stick with communistic ideas?
No. Well, I wouldn't do it. No, this has got to be free and clean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If there was an election, they would overwhelmingly vote for a Republican style government.
Right. This is my opinion. What I would do. One thing is I would go in right now, as we speak. Go in, take over. Okay. Clean out, because there's a lot of necessities there that they need right away.
Yep.
Help out with that, but at the same time, help get a government started.
Yeah.
Okay. The democracy like we have here, and have it set, and then later on, if they want to become part of our, one of our states, that's fine. If not, we help them out with the regular democratic, government that we have no issues there.
And you think Marco Rubio would be a good person to go in there and help set that up?
He can. He's going to be our next president.
I know, right? He's pretty darn good. A lot of people love him, man. He's great. I tell you, we have a problem the left doesn't have. We've got a great lineup. We've got Ron DeSantis there, J.D. Vance. I mean, depending on how far down you want to look. But the question would be, how would you set that up in Cuba then, right? You go in and say, I'm sure there's going to be some people coming out of the, hey, I'd like to come and represent, and I'd like to represent, but you set up and you have a free and fair election, right?
That's it. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
And then have it. It doesn't have to be like a lot of people, like, including our president of our group, of Brothers to the Rescue.
Yeah.
At one time he was young and was able to say, okay, if I become, he was part of the 2506 Brigade that tried to go into Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we should have somebody that controls right now, not control the government, but control and set up the democracy that needs to be done there as we speak now.
Paper ballots, not voting machines, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. So we're talking with Ray Martin, Brothers to the Rescue. He's an original founding member. If you didn't know the story, there were basically 3 planes that were humanitarian flights flying over the seas, looking for Cuban refugees that would be potentially stuck in the middle of this 90-mile gap of the horrible sea conditions, sharks, and everything else between Cuba and Florida. And essentially, they would spot them out and say, hey, Coast Guard, come, there's a rafter here, come help these people. Let's get them to safety. And ultimately, back in 1996, Cuban government shot down 2 of your compadre.
They weren't all 3. They weren't all 3, but that was another thing. They chased 2506, the last airplane, almost to Key West, and nobody did anything.
Wow. When you say nobody did anything, what do you mean nobody
did?
The
U.S. government did not do anything.
Who was in power at that time? Was that Clinton?
Clinton.
So he was too scared to call him and say, "Look, let's make it happen."
Yep.
What would Trump have done?
He wouldn't have made it. They wouldn't have shot the first airplane down.
Yeah.
Because the minute they would have showed up around us, he would have been there already scrambled.
What's your message to President Trump?
I love him to death. I mean, that's I was proud of him. I think he'll do a good job. It's like everything. There's goods and bads.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes. We're all human.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he has the right idea, and hopefully he'll help out with the Cuba. If Trump doesn't help Cuba now, nobody will.
Yeah, I think he will. All right, quick break, right back. More with our special guest here, Ray Martin, Brothers to the Rescue, talking about the U.S. grand jury indictment of Raul Castro and others. We'll talk about that. Also, I want to get into some local stuff here. Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis delivering for law enforcement and delivering results. We'll go over the SAFE program, as well as he's setting the standard for safety in schools, Florida schools. Got a couple cool programs we'll talk about here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Long lines at the airport? Check out Tampa Bay's premier private jet source. I'm Brandon Rimes for Will Smith Aviation. Aircraft management, acquisition, and sales, luxury jet escapes, and packages. Check them out online. WillSmithAviation.com. That's WillSmithAviation.com. Or call the show. I'll put you right in touch directly with Captain Will Smith. AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. DavidReynoldsJewelryandCoin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at DavidReynoldsJewelryandCoin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. DavidReynoldsJewelryandCoin.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for Jason Coble, owner of Coble Law. Coble Law has been handling injury cases in Tampa for the past 14 years and has a specialized approach focused on limiting client cost and maximizing client profit. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Coble, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, personal injury law, and work comp law. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for our friends at TargetSurveying.net for all of your surveying needs. Land surveying firm providing services for real estate since 1992, and they are statewide. Check them out online, TargetSurveying.net. That's TargetSurveying.net. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, going to tout some of Governor DeSantis supporting law enforcement results from the SAFE program. It's the State Assistance for Fentanyl Eradication. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. We also have Ray Martin, one of the founding members of Brothers to the Rescue, relating to the Raul Castro indictment by the U.S. grand jury just recently. We've got a couple of hot listings. We've got 4925 North US Highway 441 in Ocala. We got a great listing here. This is from my business partner, Doug. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2236 square feet, almost 8 acres. You got a fully remodeled estate. You got about 8 acres there up in Ocala. Great opportunity to own some beautiful land up there. You also have a commercial play here because you've got B4 commercial frontage on the highway there, US 441. So this one's 4925 North US Highway 441, Ocala, Florida, offering endless business opportunities, retail, light manufacturing, storage, automotive services, and more. Another commercial property at 100 East Shell Point Road in Ruskin. We got a unique opportunity here as well down in Ruskin, Florida, just off the main street there, going through, I think that's 41 South. You got 6758 square feet, half-acre lot, plenty of parking, 2-story commercial building / residential, because you have some commercial and residential tenants there. This would be a great opportunity for a business owner to come in and do some entrepreneurial type things. I think it would be awesome for one of those co-workspace setups. Great opportunity. 100 East Shell Point Road, Ruskin, Florida. You can see all of our listings online at platinummvpteam.kw.com. You can search the MLS there as well. And you can see all of our radio and TV show experts at consumerqb.com. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Ruskin's a nice area, man. Close to the water, a lot of fishing. A lot of the real fishermen know Ruskin and Apollo Beach. That's where a lot of the real fishermen live, because you go straight out.
Yeah,
right?
2010, we had our house built before my wife passed away. The reason I loved it is because the cow pasture on the right-hand side going down Shell Point.
Yeah.
And after she passed away in 2019, they were building 600 brand new homes. All the cows were gone.
Yeah.
And that's why I went out there, just to be away from the city.
To get away,
yeah. Yeah, and now they're building is worse. So we sold it.
You got the growth throughout the state of Florida. You know, it depends where you're at. Yeah. All right, so Florida Governor Ron DeSantis supporting law enforcement, delivering results. Today, recently, Governor DeSantis announced a new program. So here's some of the results that we've seen in Florida. You've got state drug-related deaths decreased by 19%, opioid-caused deaths decreased by 42%, fentanyl down 46%. To date, they've also resulted in 2,757 arrests, and then you also have 588 pounds of fentanyl seized. You have more than 65,000 fentanyl-sized pills, 633 pounds of cocaine seized. You got 970-plus firearms seized, $6.4 million in cash seized as well. So Governor DeSantis doing the right thing here in Florida. State law enforcement has offered $13.5 million in additional pay increases for law enforcement officers. And we were also doing that recruitment as well. You know, remember out of state, he offered the bonus for the out-of-state law enforcement officers coming down. So, all right, good job. Yeah, Florida, we like to protect our people, and we like to back the blue here in the state of Florida. That's one of the biggest differences between, red and blue states, Ray. You see, in Florida, you have law and order. You don't see all these protests. You don't see all this garbage where they're fighting the police. It's absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't happen here in Florida.
No, that's true. That's very, very well taken care of. And that's thanks to our government. So, he's done a lot. And locally, too, in Tampa, Bob Buckhorn.
Yeah.
He did an awesome job, too, I'm not a politician. I'm a humanitarian.
Yeah.
Bob is the Democrat. I'm a Republican.
Yeah.
And we work together.
Right.
He's a good friend of mine. He's always helping out. And I've always supported him when he's ran for mayor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like in Tampa, you have to have that D behind your name to get elected. Unfortunately, it's how it's been for a long time. I just don't understand how the Ds can still believe in, the modern day Ds, because you look at men and women's sports, you look at some of these crazy gender affirming care policies, you look at, and so I just think the old Democrats versus this new mantra, not the same thing.
No, not the same thing.
Right. But yeah, Bob, he was on my show back in 2013, all those years ago, when I first started the program 13 years ago.
I've known him. He flew with me, bro, to rescue a couple of missions.
Okay.
I know, I've known him for 30 years.
He's got to be the front runner then, huh, for mayor?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just had lunch with him yesterday, and we're going to help him out.
How old is he now?
Oh my God, I don't want to say it, but
he's getting up
there. He's getting up there. He's about. I'm 67. He's got to be around my age.
Yeah.
About 67, 68.
Oh, okay. I was thinking he might be a little older.
No, I don't think
so. Ray Martin, check him out online. They can connect with you.
Okay.
At Will Smith Aviation.
Will Smith Aviation.
Yeah, check him out online.
Yeah. And Ray Martin at SoutheastSeafoodDistributors.com.
Okay, awesome. Good stuff. Well, thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate you sharing those stories.
No problem.
We had another great show as well. Aaron Williamson on the front end. We had the data conversation, data centers, AI stuff, all that good stuff happening out there. Support the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show online at consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback. Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.